Big Boar Barbecue presents Seven Rivers Racing with Dan Diker and Billy Doc Niles. Today's program is brought to you by Big Boar Barbecue on Highway 16 West Salem and downtown La Crosse. Big Boar Barbecue, now that's a mouthful. By Carey Heating and Air Conditioning, your residential specialists on La Crosse's north side. By Pizza Hut in La Crosse and Winona. Pizza Hut. Now here's Dan with this week's show.
Hi, race fans. Big Boar Barbecue presents Seven Rivers Racing, KQEG TV. I'm Dan Diker. Billy Doc Niles, he's at something called Rock Fest. So I brought in Mr. Burning Rubber, Paul Riker, to join me in the program today. Paul, how are you, sir?
I'm doing good, Dan.
Coming off a weekend at Crosse Speedway where we had many, many firsts. And I tell you what, I love announcing when drivers haven't won in a while. I like announcing when drivers get their first time heat race wins, get their first feature race wins. We had quite a bit Saturday night.
Yes, I think we had it all on Saturday night.
Well, we're going to recap, as we normally do, the features from Saturday night La Crosse Fairgrounds Speedway. Going to start things off with the Quick Trip NASCAR late models. Well, before we do that, I got to let you know, we are broadcasting at Big Boar Barbecue next Wednesday the 19th. They're going to be putting all their car shows together, giving away the Master Trophy to the best-looking classic car. And Paul and I and Billy Doc Niles are going to take the show on the road. We're going to be doing it for Big Boar Barbecue, and I think they're going to have food.
Oh, yes, yes. Everyone gets a free pork slider if you should bring your car.
That's right. Bring your car next Wednesday. You get a free pork slider. So you stay away from what we're going to be hoarding, and then we'll get you a free pork slider. If you want to join us in the program, come out next Wednesday and hang out at Big Boar Barbecue. We're going to be there about 6. So let's go to the La Crosse late models Saturday night at the La Crosse Speedway. And an 8-year drought. We're going to run this right now. 8-year drought over with for Matt Henderson.
Thank goodness. I was wondering when Matt would ever win again.
I'll tell you what. There were several times, as you're going to see right here, that Matt almost didn't win because of, number one, very fast Brad Powell tail grabbing him the entire time. And number two, Matt Henderson, a little bit slippery in turn 4.
Yeah, he admitted actually during practice it was a bit slippery. The car wasn't behaving like it should. And when Brad was there, he just was trying to hold on for dear life, trying to hold off Brad. And oh my gosh, that was the tensest 5 laps I've ever experienced.
I tell you what, it was a good win for Matt Henderson. Again, it's been 8 years since he's been back in the winner's circle. Went through 3 motors last year, actually for a season and a half. He didn't have his primary car back until just about 2 weeks ago. And Matt Henderson holds off Brad Powell. Jeremy Wagner was a caution flag away from winning that race. Great write-up about him in the La Crosse Tribune this week. That caution doesn't come. I really don't think anybody catches Jeremy Wagner.
Yeah, Matt probably would have stayed right behind him the whole way.
So, Matt Henderson gets the win. Powell second, Jeremy Wagner third. Talking about getting that bad monkey off the shoulder, Steve Bachman, as you're going to see right here, the last 2 laps of the Sportsman's race. Man, I tell you what, once he got out in front, he was gone. And that was a man on a mission after what he's gone through this past year.
I know, yes. After he's been through last year, winning 2 chase championships last year, he wants to win the track championship so bad now.
I don't know, point-wise, still a lot is separating him from Brad Worthen and Randy Humfeld. He may be looking at his 3rd possible chase championship, what he can set his sights on. Still a lot of racing to go, though, so you really can't pinpoint what's going to happen behind that. You know, I got to go back to the late models real quick as we finish the Sportsman. Congratulations to young man Ryan Brown. Drives the 53 car, had never driven a race car in his entire life. Learned how to do it in a computer simulator like Billy Dr. Noise Martin did, and he got his first heat race win. Yes,
that was exciting to see happen for a guy who's never been behind the wheel of a race car, only through simulators, and see him get his first win. That was freaking awesome.
So back to the Sportsman we go. We got to run this video right here because this was some of the best driving that you're going to find at the La Crosse Speedway. Watch these drivers come out of turn 4, and Paul, you're going to see 6 of them get sideways. Only 1 car out of all this had damage.
Yes, yeah, Brad Worthen was badly damaged up front, but I don't know, somehow miraculously, everybody got back in the race. I mean, I was just, wow, that's incredible that anybody got anything worse than they did.
After the smoke settled, 1 car went in the pits. That was Brad Worthen. He came back out minus the hood, so his downforce was obviously gone. Still finished a formidable race. And, man, I'll tell you what, that was a good bit of driving by the Sportsman guys because that could have been a whole lot worse than what the video showed. Let's go to the action track quarter mile. They should just nickname this this thing the Adam Moore Action Track quarter mile because the point leader who we had in the program last week, I tell you, it was karma because he won a race last week. Adam Moore, watch his last 2 laps here. Once he gets out, he got a good challenge. So I thought Joey Johnson, with about 3 laps to go, was just going to step away and win this race.
I thought so too. I mean, this is with this being Joey's final year of racing, and I was just cheering him on, hoping he could get that win finally.
Didn't happen. Adam Moore gets him on the last lap right there, and that's Adam Moore. Did it clean, too. I mean, Adam put his foot down and used his mechanics and his mind instead of the front bumper to get around Joey Johnson and made that into a heck of a race. Andy Moore, 3 in a row.
Wow, 3 in a row. Yeah, he did run that race clean, didn't give any home to Joey there, so that was a good race.
Of course, Paul sits almost right down in front to the right of the flag stand. And he sees all that activity that happens right there in turn 4 and had a great set of eyes when it was Johnson and Moore coming out of 4, and there was no contact.
Nope, no contact at all.
To the street stocks we go. John Aaron, the Madman, 2-time track champion in the street stocks, current point leader, saw his win streak disappear. A lot of firsts on Saturday night we told you about. Let's run their tape on this one here. John the Madman Aaron, matter of fact, had won the only 2 features we have this year to get into the point lead. And this night belonged to one of the Larson clan, Chris Larson.
Oh man, that was a good race. I thought John might have a chance to catch him, but just didn't have enough to get by Chris for the win.
Came and worked his way through the field and got through some lap cars, and John the Madman Aaron just couldn't get that accurate to go. But congratulations to Chris Larson. It takes a lot to knock off streaks at the La Crosse Speedway, and especially when you're talking about John the Madman Aaron and what a strong car he has had over the past 2 or 3 years. Started with that ugly gray Mustang, had a couple of different ones last year, as a new Acura this year. I mean, that's Chris Larson should be hanging his head pretty high to win that race.
Oh, yes, he should be. He had a great job on Saturday night.
Also, the minivans were out. Matt Moore out of Kendall, Wisconsin, longtime Hornet driver, ends up winning. He had a clean sweep. He ended up winning a heat race. And in a collision-filled race.
Yeah, well, all that craziness happened about midway through the feature. I'm thinking, did Chuck bring the Joey Chitwood Thrill Show into town?
I didn't think anybody was going to finish this race. Even Paul Finch and a friend of Matt Moore, the banging that these guys did to come out of turn 4 to get some places, put on quite the show. So there is your recap from the weekend. A big weekend coming up this weekend. Late model Sportsman Thunderstocks, and one of my favorites, the Vintage Series, is out. Got to give kudos to the race fans that were there last weekend. It was 2-for-1 Buddy Night, courtesy of Festival Foods. Regardless, the weather was fantastic. It wasn't too hot, and the grandstands were completely filled. And when Ryan Brown got out of that car to get that win, I mean, that just showed that short track racing is strong, and the fan base is still strong on La Crosse.
Absolutely.
Did you cheer? Did you get up and wave?
Yes, I did.
You know, when we do the wave lap, and I say get up, get your hands up, get your hats up, get your neighbor up who can get up that high. Have you ever found someone to raise above your head yet and wave them?
No, I haven't done that.
We're going to have to work on that.
Yeah.
Paul Riker joining me on the program this week. Billy Doc Niles is at something called Rock Fest. I'm not sure even what that is anymore. When we come back, Billy Doc Niles did a bunch of work last weekend for the program today during Fan Photo. He knocked out interview after interview. Those are coming up next on 7 Rivers Racing.
You don't have to fly to Kansas City to get great barbecue. Or you don't have to drive down to Des Moines to get great pulled pork too. If you want ribs, the best in town, pulled pork or chicken too. Just come on down for the best food in town at Big Boar Barbecue.
Hi, this is Jerry Byer, and I'm pleased to announce the opening of our new location. We're bringing our delicious ribs, pulled pork, and brisket to the north side of La Crosse. Now, if you live on the north side and you want delicious barbecue ribs, pulled pork, or brisket, now you'll find our Big Boar Cook Shack parked on the corner of George and Gillette Street every Wednesday through Sunday. We're just a short walk from your door. So come on over and sink your teeth into the barbecue voted best in La Crosse County. Don't forget takeout. Big Boar Barbecue. Now that's a mouthful.
Yeah!
Whatever your perfect temperature, you'll enjoy consistent comfort with the heating and air conditioning systems homeowners rank #1. American Standard Heating and Air Conditioning.
Carey Heating and Air Conditioning, your residential specialists, providing Coulee Region families with perfect indoor weather all year long. Call for your free estimate today, 608-782-0977. Have you tried the great lunch buffet at Pizza Hut? Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1:30, Pizza Hut in La Crosse and Winona offers you an all-you-can-eat lunch buffet for just $5.99. All the salad, pasta, breadsticks, and of course, delicious piping hot pizza you can eat. How about dinner? Don't get up, get online and get a large 2-topping pizza for just $7.99. It's the best pizza delivery deal at your La Crosse and Winona Pizza Hut. Call for delivery or order online. Pizza Hut.
Welcome back to Big Boar Barbecue presents Seven Rivers Racing. We are at fan photo night here at the La Crosse Fairgrounds Speedway. Caught up with one of the top drivers in the Thunderstock class, Kyle Lockington. And Kyle, at the beginning of the year, I thought it was going to be another one of those years for you, but second week you come out and made her look good.
Yeah, I'm doing my best. Stuff just happens, but I come right back. So.
No, it's watching you over the last couple of years. It seemed like you're either up front or something happens and you end up on the record for the night. Is that the way it kind of has been the last couple of years?
Yeah, it's been rough, but we get her back out here and win a couple.
Now, being up front, running door to door with Bolster, with Moore, Schaller, who unfortunately, if you haven't heard, lost his car this week. We'll talk more about that later, but it's kind of fun with that group right there. You guys put on a good show.
Oh yeah, definitely. Side-by-side racing is the best racing there is.
You have pretty much a famed name here at the La Crosse Fairgrounds Speedway, in the Lockington name. Who did you follow? Who helped you out to get into racing?
I grew up watching my dad pretty much. My dad stopped racing for a while. I just watched my grandpa, so pretty much runs in the family.
All right, so who's your dad and your grandpa?
My dad's Shawn Lockington. My grandpa's Monty Lockington.
Okay, and Shawn's driving in the sportsman class right now. Monty, he's around here somewhere. I see Todd and the old man over there. So what are the plans here for your future? Do you think you're going to stick it out in Thunderstocks for the next couple of years, or do you got an eye on a sportsman future?
Well, the sportsman my dad's driving right now is actually mine. He's getting it ready for me next year, so that's what I'll be in.
So is this breaking news to everybody in the racing world? You're going to be in a sportsman car next year?
Yes and no.
Well, all right, explain yes and no.
Some people know, some people don't, but I plan on moving up for sure next year. So.
Attaboy. Who you got helping you out for sponsors this year?
Affordable Pump and Well, Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning, State Farm Insurance, Smader, Recovery Room. I don't even know all of them.
All right, you're going to be another one that's going to the Jonathan Eckelberg School of Breeding, your sponsors, with your back to the car. That's Kyle Lockington. You'll see him up front in the Thunderstock class. We just talked to your car owner, so now we're going to talk with you. This is Shawn Lockington, the driver of the 38 car. Explain this deal with you and your son Kyle here on this car.
Well, it was a graduation gift, and then I told him he couldn't have all the fun. So since I'm down here, I figured I'd run it a little bit, have a little fun, and get it set up for him for next year.
So I think he just pretty much broke the news in the interview we just did with him. He is going to be driving this full-time next year?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So you've been around racing a long time. The Lockington name is synonymous here at the La Crosse Fairgrounds Speedway. Tell us about what got you into racing.
Basically watching my Uncle Ron. I mean, to come out as a little kid, growing up, watching him race at 7 different tracks around the area, 4 nights a week. I mean, how can you not, try to get into racing or do something like that? So.
And Ron had a great early career. I remember at least 1 or 2 track championships, and he had a phenomenal run. Is that what inspired you to want to get into it?
Yeah, pretty much. And just the family, the commodity, the way it is. Like at the shop, with Dad, Uncle Ron, the boy, and me working together as a family. That's the biggest thing to me.
Years ago, if I remember correctly, and correct me if I'm wrong, but weren't you one of the first ones to bring a truck out in the sportsman class?
I was, yes.
Tell us about what brought that idea on.
Well, first year out, we just had a Cutlass, kind of like everybody else. I had my eye on the Silverado that was for sale. They told me it wouldn't go nowhere, obviously, but I was like, God, I got to prove these guys wrong. So we bought it, kind of proved them wrong, won a few races, and had a good time in it.
So after next year, after you step out of this car this year and Kyle gets into it, what's the future for Shawn?
I might try and chase down the kid in another car.
You got another car planned, or?
I already got one at the shop. So.
That's future planning right there. Tell us who's helping you out for sponsors this year.
Affordable Pump and Well, like I said, South Lanes. We've got, who else do we have? The Recovery Room, L&M Motorsports, Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning, Rod's Ride on Power Sports. Let's see. And that should cover just about all of them.
All right, that's good luck to you the rest of the year. That's Shawn Lockington joining us on Big Boar Barbecue presents Seven Rivers Racing.
You don't have to fly to Kansas City to get great barbecue. Or you don't have to drive down to Des Moines to get great pulled pork too. If you want ribs, the best in town, pulled pork or chicken too, just come on down for the best food in town at Big Boar Barbecue.
Hi, this is Jerry Beyer, and I'm pleased to announce the opening of our new location. We're bringing our delicious ribs, pulled pork, and brisket to the north side of La Crosse. Now, if you live on the north side and you want delicious barbecue ribs, pulled pork, or brisket, now you'll find our Big Boar Cook Shack parked on the corner of George and Gillette Street every Wednesday through Sunday. We're just a short walk from your door. So come on over and sink your teeth into the barbecue voted best in La Crosse County. Don't forget takeout. Big Boar Barbecue. Now that's a mouthful.
Yeah!
Whatever your perfect temperature, you'll enjoy consistent comfort with the heating and air conditioning systems homeowners rank #1. American Standard Heating and Air Conditioning.
Carey Heating and Air Conditioning, your residential specialists, providing Cooley Region families with perfect indoor weather all year long. Call for your free estimate today, 608-782-0977. Have you tried the great lunch buffet at Pizza Hut? Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1:30, Pizza Hut in La Crosse and Winona offers you an all-you-can-eat lunch buffet for just $5.99. All the salad, pasta, breadsticks, and of course, delicious piping hot pizza you can eat. How about dinner? Don't get up, get online and get a large 2-topping pizza for just $7.99. It's the best pizza delivery deal at your La Crosse and Winona Pizza Hut. Call for delivery or order online. Pizza Hut.
Welcome back to Big Boar Barbecue presents Seven Rivers Racing. We're joined now by late model driver Tony Leis, and he's a little underdressed right now. Problems with in the first practice session tonight. Tell us what happened.
Yeah, trying to find a little more horsepower, and it blew up. So luckily, Chris Screedy had a motor in the car, so we went and stole it basically.
Chris Screedy, where'd this come from?
He's had an old car sitting for several years, and this motor, I don't know. It's a limited late motor, so we'll see how it runs tonight. We'll find out in the first race.
All right. Well, sans tonight and the accident a couple of weeks ago, you've had a really phenomenal season to start out.
Yeah, we've had a great year. Any problems we've had are on me just trying to win every week. I got to kind of step back from that, otherwise we'd be right there in points. I think if I want to spun on the last lap that one night with a lap car, I think our worst finish would have been 5th last week. So we're there every week and just fine-tuning and trying to get better.
Well, there's a lot of the season left. We got a little more than half the season left. Still plenty of time to catch the top few in points.
Yeah, we're going to call her quits when this happened today, and it's like, well, by the time we do that, then the 22 or the 66 have a problem, and then we could have been right there. So I think, double feature nights are going to, they can make or break you right there. So we got, I think there's 2 of them left, so we're pounding it, man. We're here to win every week.
Now, a lot of people don't know the history of this car. Tell everybody what you got here.
This is one of Jay Herp's old cars. I actually drove this car a couple nights in 2011. It was their backup car traditionally, and it's sad. It was basically a trailer queen, I think, since 2012 in a show car, and Jay wanted out of his shop. Bob Fort said, let's go race. So that was about a week before the season started, and it seems like we're still thrashing on it.
Now, if memory serves me correctly, you kind of went down towards the NASCAR area in North Carolina and learned a lot back there. What did you learn down there that you could bring back here and apply?
A lot. Just, when you do it every day for a job, 60, 80 hours a week, you just pick up on things. That the technology and the engineering, dealing with engineers down there. You just when you do it every day, it's like whatever you do, if you're a farmer every day, you figure out the best way to do stuff. So when you're doing it every day, it just comes second nature.
All right, before we go here, besides the thanks you got for Chris Grady, who you got helping you out on the sponsors-wise this year?
Big sponsor, Tony Beggs, said Michael's Truck and Hoist, come on board. He's getting his kid back into racing now, so we get to see him down here every week. Bob Ford, Affordable Auto Sales, he owns the car. Got the 4 Mile, Fastenal, Tacticam, Well Pros, Mark Inglet. He's my right-hand man. If I didn't have him helping me out, we wouldn't be here because we thrash every week. LT Construction, Lance. If your roof is damaged, give Lance a call. He'll get her fixed up. And TL Enterprise, I think we got them all.
Now, a lot of help in the pits to get this changed this afternoon?
Yeah. We pretty much had it ready to come out. Aaron Towner and I ran the Screedies. Chris, his dad, and Kurt were there. Luckily, they had the motor almost ready to come out. Otherwise, we wouldn't be sitting up here right now. My dad, Mark Inglet, Tony Beggs had come over, John Scott, John Olson. When something happens, we all want to beat the crap out of each other every lap we're on the racetrack. When something happens, we're all a family, and we all want to race,
We talked with Brian Hesselberg earlier about that same subject, and it's not just class exclusive. A sportsman guy helping out a Hornet guy or a late model guy helping out even a minivan. This is a pretty tight-knit group here.
Yeah, like I said, on the track, we don't like each other. We just want to win, but when something happens, everyone's typically willing to help out. If you got a spare part here or there, you're running on the pits, everyone's here to help.
That's a cool story. Good luck to you tonight. Hope everything goes well for you.
Thanks, Bill. We need to get a win here one of these days. We got a fast car every week, and we gotta knock off a win before Bob fires me, and he'll be in the car.
Talking with another one of the hard luck drivers from the sportsman class this year, it's Brian Hesselberg. Brian, first of all, let's talk about this year, man. It seems like, and we talked about this with Sam Niles, that wherever there's a wreck, you two seem to find it.
Yeah, this year has not been a good luck year. Haven't been able to finish the feature yet, so hopefully tonight we'll get her done and finish all 15 laps.
No, it's and I talked with Sam off camera, and they said it was a plan to take a couple weeks off and just try and get rejuvenated. Was that the same thing with you?
No, we didn't plan on taking a couple weeks off, but the car was so badly damaged that it took that long to get it back together. So it's back together. It's not perfect, but we'll work on it.
Well, let's talk pre-2017. You've been running pretty good in this sportsman class the last few years.
Yeah, we've finished top 3 in points the past 2 years, and this year's just not there yet. So hopefully we can get it back together and get it fast and show where we should be. So.
Now, I know they do this thing called the chase the last few races. Is there still a chance to get into that chase for you?
I believe there is, so hopefully we can get in it and maybe show how good this car is and go from there.
Well, Bachman broke an arm a couple of years ago, and he still got into it, so anything's possible.
Yeah, we'll see what we can do, and we just got to dial it in a little bit. The frame was damaged pretty bad from the wreck, so we were able to pull it. It probably needs a stub in the off-season, but we'll make it work.
All right, now, any thoughts to the future? Is a late model ride possible, or are you just going to keep hanging out in the sportsman class because it's fun?
Yeah, I mean, the sportsman class is very fun, and it fits my budget, so I think right now we're concentrating on sportsman, and I mean, if opportunity arises, we'll look at it and think about it, but right now we're just thinking about sportsman.
Who's helping you out for sponsors this year?
We got Ultra Federal Credit Union, Walters Concrete, West Salem Tool and Die, Numpson TV, Augie's Bar and Grill, Hesselberg Plumbing, The Vault in Rockland, PSI up in Minneapolis. Looking around, I mean, Cows for Now. I mean, I think
you can pick up one of your cards and read the back of them. Everybody else has been doing it.
Well, and the other one is Rain Away Gutters. A new sponsor came on, and appreciate everybody that helps me, fans and everybody for their support. So, especially during the past couple weeks not being able to race, I mean, everybody's support's been awesome, and getting help from everybody, drivers and everybody around. So it's awesome.
You know, I was going to cut this off here, but you just brought up a good point that I want to expand upon. The guys around here, they may race hard against each other on the track, but man, in the pits, you all help each other out.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tight-knit group down there. I mean, if anybody has an issue, everybody jumps in to help you. So, I mean, you race hard against them, but when it comes down to it, everybody wants to keep on racing and have good competition, so they help you out.
And let's face it, it's not just sportsman exclusive. It's all the divisions.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter if you're Hornet, Thunderstock, everybody pitches in. So, I mean, it's pretty cool atmosphere down there.
That's one of the best points we've had in our interviews tonight. Brian, thanks for joining us.
Well, I'll tell you what, Billy Doc now sure had his hands full. I want to thank Kyle Lockington and Shawn Lockington. I like when they do breaking news right here on this famous TV program, the only racing TV program in the state of Wisconsin, by the way. I want to thank Tony Leis and Brian Hesselberg. Leis breaking a motor off. Man, did they rush around to get Chris Crady's motor in that car. It was awfully strong at the end. Brian Hesselberg, what a tough night. Comes back after about a month layoff. Gets involved in 2 different wrecks, but I still think they got it in the hauler without anything major going on. The Crosse Speedway this weekend, late model sportsman, Thunderstocks, and Paul, your favorite, just like mine, it's the Vintage Series.
Oh, yes. I always love seeing them at Oktoberfest, and when they make an appearance during the regular season, I'm really excited.
Seeing car counts this year between 14 and 18. I saw them at Golden Sands here a couple of months ago, and what a great show that they put on. If you're a vintage series liking kind of a race fan, you're not going to want to miss coming up this weekend, Saturday night at La Crosse Speedway. If you haven't liked the Big Bore Presents Seven Rivers Racing Facebook page, we would encourage you to just Google search that or go on Facebook and find Big Bore Presents Seven Rivers Racing with Doc and Dan. A lot of contests are coming up. And remember, next week, meet us at Big Bore Wednesday. We're going to be taping the show live out there. That might be just Paul and Doc doing the interviews as I plan on eating a bunch of barbecue. For Billy Doc Niles, who's at something called Rock Fest, for Paul Reichert, the Burner Rubber Man, I'm Dan Diker. Thanks for joining us on this week's program. Big Bore presents Seven Rivers Racing.
You've been watching the Big Bore Barbecue presentation of Seven Rivers Racing on KQEG TV. Seven Rivers Racing is brought to you by Big Bore Barbecue on Highway 16 West Salem and downtown La Crosse. Big Bore Barbecue, now that's a mouthful. By Carey Heating and Air Conditioning, your residential specialists on La Crosse's north side. By Pizza Hut in La Crosse and Winona. Pizza Hut. Join us next week at this same time for Doc and Dan and Seven Rivers Racing on KQEG TV.